I've just finished watching West Ham 2, West Bromwich Albion 1. And guys, I'm absolutely thrilled with that result, because that is a result, like Burnley a couple of days ago, that we would not have won last season. We actually lost to West Brom in the FA Cup when Slaven Bilic was manager, when they were in the Championship in their promotion winning season. And to get one over Big Sam just makes it that little bit sweeter. But we're going to break into this video, right, and this game, because there were some controversial VAR decisions. But before we get into that, one change from the team that beat Burnley. Fornals got dropped to the bench. Lanzini coming. I don't want to say dropped, because I thought Fornals had a very good game against Burnley. I'll call it more rotation. Now, this was a huge opportunity for Lanzini to stamp his mark on the team, to possibly get in contention to start future games. And it never really happened. And the pattern of the first half, it was very frustrating. The game sort of suited West Brom. There was a lot of fouls. You know, it felt like the first 20 minutes, there was like literally a foul every minute or so. And that suited West Brom. It broke up West Ham's momentum. It broke up, you know, how we were trying to play, get the ball out wide, but also gave West Brom an opportunity to put the ball into the box. Guys, make sure you hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. That would be greatly appreciated. It gave them an opportunity to put the ball in the box. And there was a couple of times that West Brom got down our right-hand side, their left-hand side, and I suppose it is a little bit of risk and reward. I've said in previous, you know, videos regarding when we're playing weaker teams, and that West Ham are the ones that are supposed to stamp their authority on the game, we have to take more risks in possession. I want to see the fullbacks getting further forward, and the you know, the side effect of that happening is that sometimes the opposition are going to get down that side, and it was mainly Soufal's side. There are a couple of opportunities that West Brom got. There was a quick turnover of possession. West Brom had a couple of, you know, shots from Pereira that all stemmed from that left hand, from that West Ham's right hand side, West Brom's left hand side. And that's okay, because sometimes you have to take risks, especially when trying to break down such teams. Now let's talk about Brom, because he got brought off again in the 60th minute, and I feel like as I was looking at Twitter through at half time, a lot of people mixed opinions. Now my opinion, I thought he done okay. Nothing more than okay. But what we are seeing from Benrahma is the fact that he's trying to create things. And when you're playing against teams like West Brom, you need your creative players to try and play things. And if the ball, you know, if a pass gets intercepted, if a loose ball, you know, if he loses possession, if he hits an overhit cross, if he does something that doesn't go our way, at least he's trying. And the West Ham goal that resulted, the first time that I think in the first half that we kept our width, and I spoke about width being one of West Ham's, you know, sort of negative factors. A lot of our players that we have in that right attacking mid, centre attacking mid, left attacking mid position, they're all the same player. You know, we've got Bowen, you know, Fornals, we've got Lanzini, we've got Benrahma. When either one of them want to play on that flank, if Benrahma's on the left, he wants to tuck in, he wants to get involved with the play, he wants to get on the ball. Same with Bowen. The amount of times we see Bowen, he stays out wide. When he gets the ball, he drifts inside. But at one time, we actually keep our width. We stretch that West Brom defence. A switch that goes out to Benrahma. He gets the ball onto his right foot and he puts a cross in. Now, whether it was overhit or he spotted Soufal on that right-hand side, the ball comes over to Soufal. He hits it clean on the volley, and it's a fantastic goal by Bowen. It's one of those where the ball's coming very quickly at him. He either, you know, tries to kneel and sort of heads it and glances it, but what he does is stand strong. He just twists his body, uses the momentum of the ball. Very clever by Jarrod Bowen, and we put the ball into the back of the net to make it 1-0. And half time, I'm thinking, you know, this is a huge opportunity for West Ham to get a couple more goals, because it suits us perfectly. I spoke about West Ham. We are best at attacking transitions. We're sort of best when the opposition has got the ball, and then we counter-attack them. And being 1-0 up, West Brom would have to attack West Ham a little bit more in the second half. And the second half started absolutely woefully. The first 5 or 10 minutes, West Ham were absolutely woeful. And West Brom do equalise through Pereira. And there's two phases. I've only seen one phase being spoke about on Twitter, and that is the failure of Craig Dawson or whoever it was to close down that shot from Pereira. But whilst, you know, Declan Rice has been absolutely magnificent for West Ham over the last couple of seasons, you know, and since he's been at West Ham, doesn't mean he's exempt from criticism. Now, the first phase of play, it was that Pereira runs on runs on the blind side of Thomas Souček. He's on the wrong side. Thomas Souček is sort of eyeing up the player with the ball. Pereira drifts off into a little bit of space. You've got Soufal, who's marking the left-hand winger, the left-hand winger for West Brom. And Declan Rice, he sees the player with the ball, and he sees that little bit of space that Pereira has sort of adopted himself in. And the failure of Declan Rice to just come over, drift over there to try and nullify that space sort of creates that goal. The ball gets played into Pereira. Declan Rice is too slow going across. He doesn't anticipate. And anticipation is one of Declan Rice's best attributes as a footballer. The anticipation, the reading of the game. Unfortunately, in this situation, he doesn't actually read it that well. Pereira picks up the ball. He's just driving at the West Ham defence. Then the second phase of play, who's going to close him down? Now, Soufal was tracking the runner of the West Brom wide player. And then it's probably Craig Dawson. It's on his side. It's on his right-hand side. And generally, Craig Dawson had a decent game again. But the failure, he doesn't close down the man. He sort of does, a reminiscent of Roger Johnson, the relegator at Manchester City away. He just sort of backs away. Pereira takes the shot. And this is where the first controversial VAR decision takes place. Now, he is offside. He is offside. But what they were looking for is if he was in a clear line of vision of Fabianski. And for me, it would have been harsh. Obviously, I was hoping that it was going to be disallowed. But if that had gone against West Ham, I would have been absolutely fuming. I really would, because the shot was taken, from outside the box. If that was maybe in the 6-yard area or maybe on the penalty spot, and that happened, I feel like the goal would have been cancelled out. But because it was outside the area, Gallagher's actually tried to withdraw himself from the ball. He sort of leant back to sort of, so he doesn't actually touch the ball. Fabianski, he still dives. It doesn't affect Fabianski's dive. It's a good shot. It goes in. But Moyes would have been really disappointed, considering we hadn't conceded a goal for 7 hours of play. To concede a goal in that manner, where we don't track the run for Pereira, we don't close down that shot from Pereira, and we don't close him down, it's very disappointing on that mark. And again, I'm thinking, West Ham, the last thing we wanted was to concede an early goal. David Moyes, he's proactive. He makes early changes. 60th minute, Benrahma comes off, Lanzini comes off. Lanzini didn't have a great game. Benrahma done okay. I would have liked to have seen Benrahma on the pitch. However, what we did actually see today is Jarrod Bowen actually complete a 90 minutes of football, which is absolutely baffling because he doesn't complete many of those. And what it actually allowed us, those changes, Yarmolenko's on the right-hand side, Fornals comes into the middle, and it actually allows Bowen to play on the left-hand side. Now, I'm presuming that Moyes obviously planned that so that Bowen would be on the left-hand side on his favoured left foot, which obviously, if he's going to run at a defender, he's going to want to get down the byline and put a cross in, which creates natural width. And we actually get our second goal that comes from that left-hand side. Bowen, I think, plays it to Cresswell. Couple of yards out of his feet, he puts a fantastic delivery in. And Yarmolenko, not really renowned for his heading and his aerial presence in the box, he jumps up, he leaps above the West Brom left back, I think it was Kieran Gibbs, and he heads it back. Now, the most beautiful thing about this goal was the fact that whilst it was fantastic work from Cresswell and Yarmolenko, the ball was still behind Michail Antonio. Michail Antonio had a lot to do still. He still had to adjust his body, he had to go back and swing his leg in a direction, and pretty much a replica of the goal that he scored against Manchester City at the Olympic Stadium, where he scored a similar bicycle kick. And it's an absolute fantastic finish. 2-1 up, and it emphasises everything that we've been lacking when we haven't had Antonio. The sort of unpredictability, the strength, he was bulldozing through players today. And I thought Antonio, again, was absolutely brilliant. I still don't think he's fully up there in terms of match sharpness, and I do think there's more to come. But I thought he was absolutely fantastic. Now, let's get on to the second controversial VAR decision, because we spoke about VAR on this channel, and many other channels have spoke about VAR. How VAR have looked at Thomas Souček. He gets to the ball first in the West Brom penalty area. He nicks the ball first, and the West Brom player, I think it's Furlong, who's just come on the pitch at this point, he gets to Thomas Souček, and he kicks him straight down the Achilles. Now, the referee doesn't give a penalty. VAR, the refs eventually give a free kick down the other end to West Brom. They've looked at VAR, and you're looking at it, and for me, it's a stonewall penalty. How VAR have looked at that when Souček has got to the ball, he's got to the ball first, and he's just booted him in the back of the Achilles. How they've looked at that and thought that wasn't a penalty. And what is it actually going to take for West Ham to actually get a penalty? Because I don't think we've had a penalty this season. I can't remember the last time we had a penalty. Maybe it was Manchester United away when Declan Rice had a shot at Pogba. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not too sure. But we haven't had a penalty in a long time, and that was, for me, a stonewall penalty. Maybe let me know in the comment section down below whether you think it was a stonewall penalty. But we had a couple of other chances as well. Ball got pulled back to Lanzini, who had like a shot. You had a couple of pop shots from Declan Rice. But it was actually nice to see. The thing that I liked about David Moyes, and to be fair, I'm not going to lie, I tweeted out I didn't agree with the changes. I thought Ben Rama should have stayed on the pitch. I thought, Yarmolenko coming on. And whilst, Yarmolenko, I tweeted out, I was like, why can't Yarmolenko do this in a starting 11? He has a fantastic impact off the bench, an assist for him, and another goal for Mikel Antonio. But the thing I liked about him was that he didn't bring off Jarrod Bowen, because what Jarrod Bowen allowed us to have was natural width on the pitch. And I think that's what won us that game. Because I spoke about, that when West Ham do play inferior teams, and we're the ones that are expected to break teams down, one of the biggest problems that we've got is that we've got a lack of variety in our attack. When we bring off Bowen, we put on Yarmolenko, pretty much a like-for-like player. When we bring off, Ben Rama, we bring on Lanzini, pretty much a like-for-like player. Someone that could play on the left wing, but they tuck inside. Or if Fornals is on the bench and he comes on today, it's a like-for-like. We've got a lot of like-for-like replacements, rather than a little bit of variety dependent on the game situation. It was very nice to see Bowen today play on that left-hand side and sort of create that width. Now, Soufal got the assist for the first goal. And talking about who was man of the match, I think it was Antonio. I thought Soufal in the first half was caught out of position a couple of times, but that's sort of risk versus reward. If you're going to do that against the weaker opposition, sometimes you have to take a little bit of risk. And I thought generally he was very good. Dawson had a decent game despite the mistake that he should have pressed. Ogbonna, very, very good. Again, Cresswell, I thought had a decent game. Generally, guys, I'm absolutely buzzing about this result. We're 7th in the Premier League. It was a result that was huge for us, because especially when it went to 1-1, it shows the fight that this team has got, the belief that this team has got, that we can go and win, a game. Maybe a couple of seasons ago under Pellegrini, that when that game went to 1-1, we could possibly lose that game 2-1. But it shows the fight, the character in this team that David Moyes has got going with this team. And you know what? I'm absolutely loving it. Yes, we don't get as much as ball retention as maybe we would like. Sometimes it's a bit dirty. Sometimes it's a bit ugly. But I absolutely love to see it. Guys, hit the subscribe button for more West Ham videos, and I'll catch you next time. See you later.